Thanks for having me. Good to go. Testing. Testing. Looks good? Okay. Let's hope it's good. morning. Oh. You're connected to computer. Can you hear me? Why isn't it working? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Let's see. Okay, I think I heard you.
You heard me now?
Okay, there we go.
Alrighty.
Two different, you know, the speaker that you speak into, then the audio, yeah.
Well, you gotta go in and adjust the. Okay, I'm gonna turn the phone off now. How are you doing?
Fabulous.
It's Friday.
It's Friday, and I am free in the world. I am roaming. I am not.
Oh my gosh.
I am not locked up.
Okay, have you been on Blue Ridge Parkway lately? Oh my gosh. Ronald's like a brother to me. Ronald Rand and I went up yesterday, and oh my God, all the way to the graveyard fields.
Oh, is it gorgeous? Is it,
Mm-hmm.
where are we at color-wise?
Oh my gosh, well, up at the top, you know, it's not full out, it's really the start of it, but there's a lot of yellows and there's some reds, and yeah, it's starting to populate.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I need to get up there. There was a year that I went almost every week, and I stopped and I painted on the side of the road.
That's what I did.
It was fabulous. That's what you did yesterday.
It's my first time. I have never painted, plein air. I'm in art class with Camille Dono, who's retired 50 plus years of art teaching, high-end art teaching. And I'm just really in the beginning of learning of sketching, drawing, and plein air and impressionism. But I had fun. Everybody's walking behind me saying, "Oh, this is so good." I'm not here for
It's
you.
so cool. What made you guys decide to do it? Have you been talking about doing it?
I'm spontaneous. He is too, and he's become such a sweet brother. I mean, he is a brother to me.
Love
he really
it.
is.
Yeah.
Nothing like any of my brothers. Brothers are all on the bad list right now.
Oh no! How many brothers?
I've got seven brothers and seven brothers and step brothers.
Wow, you're the only girl?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I have a half sister 19 years younger in Seattle. She's the wild child. Yeah.
Wow. What a life.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about you.
Yeah.
It's a great presentation that I'm seeing. You sound good, you look good.
Okay.
And I blurred a little bit of my background. For some reason, my one door next to me, you might see it's kind of popped open. I cannot shut it. It's off the hinge or something. It's weird.
Oh, just a little. I would have noticed, honestly.
Yeah, I had to point it out. Anyway, 1960s farmhouse I've been renovating to turn around and sell as an investment. Yeah. But anyway, so we're going to talk about you and your book, right?
Yeah. And I mean, really, the fact that I'm here with you 1 year to the day is just blowing my mind.
I know, I love that when I saw that.
And I didn't put it together when we talked the other day. It you know what I mean? And then I saw the 10 and I was like, 10? Wait, what? And then my mind was like, wow, to think of the 365 days.
It's perfect.
It's so perfect.
It's so perfect.
And honestly, I haven't really gotten to share the story really verbally like this. So this is a big deal for me. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. And it's a great deal. It really is. I mean, it's always a win-win for us, too, because we get to elevate voices and messages, and it's just so cool.
Yeah.
So what would you want to get out of 30 minutes? Because we'll hit record when you're ready.
Sure.
What would you like to get out of this? What would be your call to action out of this? What would you want?
You mean like literally at the end, call to action, what I want people to do?
Yeah.
Well, I think I want them to join the Rise of Wampus movement and help end the erasure of women. So that involves, there's a Justice Act that we're working on. There's a Erase Your Story. You can submit anonymously just to have your voice added to this, and just keep standing up for the 600,000 women that this happens to.
Okay.
And of course, buy my book. I mean, there's pre-order. There's pre-order available.
Yeah. Okay. When does it come out?
I guess I should say a date, but I can't because I'm like, it's so close.
You always say it's coming out very soon.
Very soon. It's like, it's so close to being done. I'm literally dropping in just some like photos and some like very multimedia, like QR codes and stuff. So I'm literally done with the book. It's just now going and dropping those in. So my goal is by next, like literally a week from today, because that's the day I got out. So the 17th is, you know, but that's too, I can't say that yet because that's like a week away. But it could, I really think it'll be this month, but we'll see. It'll be very soon.
That's fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as the message, for people listening in, what is the message you would, you know, in a nutshell, that you want them to get out of your talk, your chat today?
Sure.
Review.
I want everyone to know that this is kind of a silent epidemic against women, and I call it one of the new witch hunts, that 600,000 women per year in just the U.S. are subjected to these involuntary psych holds, and there's such little data, only 24 states have to even report, so we don't really know all the numbers and all the facts because silence is violence, and they use shame and all these things against you to not speak up, and you know about this. So that's really important to me, that this is a part of the erasure of women. And
I'm trying to get it to get the video. I must have moved. I'm trying to.
Well, it did that one, like, you know how it zooms in and zooms out, like sometimes.
Yeah, I need to change that maybe.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I get why it does it. It's kind of cool when it's dynamic, but anyway.
Yeah, it is only for movement purposes and presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there anything that you want me to stay away from?
No, at this point, I'm a super open book because I think that's what I have to be. I think I'm one of the voices that are going to speak up about this and keep, you know, shaking the trees and getting attention to it, because I didn't even know until a few months ago, and I actually went through it. So like, there's just so much stigma around it. There's so much silence around it. There's terrible data and reporting, and all this proof that it's not even good anyway. Like, no matter what happens is not good and not healing and not care. So there's just a lot to, you know, around that. And like I said, I talk about it as a modern witch hunt because it's...
What? Remind me why they came after you, why you were reported.
So I was actually trying to fly to Iceland after 2 weeks after the storm. So, you know, think about a year ago.
After Helene?
Yep, after Helene, I had evacuated my mom from Florida, and I decided last minute that I was going to jump on a plane and go to Iceland for a few days and go float in the lagoon and just like decompress from all the stress from the past 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I tried to check into the airport, and the counter agent, her face dropped, and I was like, I'm an evacuee. I have my passport card, not my passport book.
Oh, you had the card.
I just had the card, but I thought in an evacuation emergency situation, like, it would be okay. And I knew there might be some extra hoops. So I went super early, and she wouldn't help me. I was like, is there someone I can talk to? You know, I've got a hotel booked. I'm a double hurricane evacuee. Like, well, you know, I'm just assuming it'd be like a human conversation. And she was like, next, like just next to the next guest. So then I turned to a security guard, it's a woman, and I turned to her and I said, hey, I have a legitimate flight. I have my passport card. I'm an evacuee. Can you help? She starts backing away from me with her hands up. And as I see that happen, this is so quick, right? This is like 30 seconds. Like the counter agent says no, this woman says no, and then I see 8 cops circling like hyenas, creeping up. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. All I know is my side and what the chain of events were. So I don't know if I triggered it by picking a flight to Iceland and it was one way, because I was just going to like go for a few days and come back and then get back to helping with the recovery. So yeah, I still don't
didn't like that.
I don't know, because once they started circling me, I started screaming and hollering and acting out, and like something in my body was like, this is wrong. What is happening? It was like
you were feeling overwhelmed and intimidated.
It was like fight or flight. Like I was like, I gotta get visible. I mean, I couldn't explain to you why I reacted the way I reacted. I mean, there's a TikTok with 13 million views. It went viral, but nobody knows it's me. Nobody ever like got my name attached to it. Like no one know. Like, I mean, people know me, but like in the big scheme of the world, they just were like, look at this crazy lady. Like nobody cared about my
TikTok.
Huh?
How did you get the TikTok video? Who took it? Was it somebody?
Some just, rando in the airport. Once it escalated and I started acting.
Gotcha. And then somebody just put it out.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a lot.
Wow.
It was live in the moment.
Mm.
And if you look at just the video, it looks like, of course, I should be like submitted to a psych ward. But if you don't know what led up to it, and you don't,
I get it.
You know what I mean? So.
Wow, girl. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I can't even imagine. How long ago was this?
1 year ago today. 1 year ago today.
Okay. I didn't know if today was the day you went in the psych ward. Okay, and everything was associated. Oh my gosh! Wow.
So people, one of the things I'm prepared about is, as I start talking about this more and more, people are going to say like, "Well, look how you acted on the video," and I'm like, "Yes, but you don't know what led up to that. You don't know my story. You don't know that I hadn't slept for 30 hours. You know what I mean? But even if let's just take it off the table and say I totally deserved it, and it's like totally legitimate." What happens inside is absolutely unacceptable. I mean, it sounds like you had a better experience, but mine was straight up cuckoo's nest. Mine was like,
oh, gosh.
It was bad. I mean, no doctors, no therapy, no group. We had like some coloring days and some like finger painting.
Art therapy, or yeah. Mm.
It was atrocious. And like all these poor women are just like laying around, dead-eyed, drugged to the nines.
I remember that feeling.
Woo.
It's not fun. It is not fun at all.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Oh, okay. So let me go over the FCC stuff again, because I have to.
No cussing.
No cussing. We can't be salesy. Can't use the word free. Like, go to my website for free resources. That's because of spamming. That's an FCC rule. We'll keep it evergreen, because even though we're going to air it right now, record it, I'm going to actually have it play tomorrow at 10 on the radio. I'll send it over by Dropbox.
Oh, wow.
So the MP3, the audio will go over to play tomorrow at 10. I'll be doing a bunch of marketing. If you and I want to connect on social media, that helps to improve the marketing so more people know about you, because I've been doing this for a while. And then what else? Evergreen. If you never heard the term evergreen, don't say good morning, good afternoon, or anything like that, because the MP3, the audio can be shared in Seattle in 2 days, and it could be at a different time, different day. And if you're saying good morning, somebody hears it at 10 o'clock at night, and they're like, what the hell? A lot of our shows are pre-recorded.
What do you think about saying, because it's significant to me that it is 1 year ago to the date. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, you can absolutely say that.
Okay, yeah. Just not time of day.
And I interview a lot of people with books. I have books. I get it. It's really important. Marketing's so important. Just one thing, remember, if you're on the air and they're listening in, if you say, here's my book, and you point to it, they will not, I've had people do that, and I'm like...
And and that is not why I'm here at all. It just happens to be beautiful timing. Like,
no, just
you know what I mean?
Sound stupid. Here's my book, and they're like, somebody who's listening on the radio is like, huh? What over there? What are they talking about? Yeah, it'll show up on the video. So I just tell people, it's enough that it's showing there. People will see the book. You can talk about the book.
You should have seen me at UPS yesterday getting it printed. I was giddy as a schoolgirl. I was just like, and they were so sweet. And like, somebody took a picture of me. So it prompted me to do that, to get that printed. So
it's a real big deal writing books.
Yeah,
that's so funny because Ronald Rand just got his book out yesterday, his poems and his paintings and stuff, and I'm working on my third book, so actually my fourth. I got a third going out.
Wait, what do you mean? Third's already going out and then fourth's coming?
Well, I need to finish up the last chapter of my life's memoir, and then the fourth one will be kind of an ebook. Nothing really big.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to read your memoir.
Oh yeah, I've been through. I'm like the last person on this earth you would think who does the work I do today, because I was shy, painfully shy. I dealt with a pedophile. I dealt with all kind of traumas in my life, and
that's why we're so tough, woman.
I worked through it. I do. I didn't bleed on everybody. I worked through it, and I still work through it.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Okay, let me take a sip and we'll get.
Okay, I can't really see myself, so I'm trusting you that I'm fine. My little dude's really tiny, but I kind of like it because then I won't focus on me. I'll just focus on you.
Good presentation. Good look. Okay, so feel free to be yourself and drink coffee, tea, whatever you're drinking. Okay. It's not a formal thing. We're just going to, have a back and forth chat. Oh, I need to get the timer on. If we go over 30 minutes, what happens, you will cut off on the radio. And we don't want that, because if you're saying, hey, learn more about me, go to this resource, and then it gets cut off, not good.
Right on.
So I will kind of, a couple minutes out, say, oh, we're down the last couple minutes. That's the call to action, where people can join up with you however you want.
Excellent.
Website and... Okay, here we go. I got the time. Okay, any questions?
No, no, I feel great.
Okay, and Chandra.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I got to do the call sign and all that.
Okay.
I don't know if I told you, but Davine Dial was telling us that a lot of people are trying to take out free speech, and so they got bots going out there, and SEC laws, rules, policies, whatever you want to call them, say that you have to do the call sign at the top of the hour, and sometimes people forget, and that's how they're shutting people down with free speech. So Davine is like real, she has to be, she's like mother hen.
Heck yeah!
She didn't miss anything.
But it's also just an opportunity to quiet people. So, like, no way. Like,
exactly. Exactly.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, I'm just lining up my stuff so it makes it easier for me. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here.
Recording in progress.
Hello everyone, I'm Dawn Westmoreland, coming from Asheville, North Carolina, the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains, coming from WPVM FM LP 103.7 Radio Asheville. Hey, I have a show called the Empowered Whistleblower radio show, and it's about blowing the whistle on strategies to build your courage and resiliency muscles. Now, oftentimes we'll talk about trauma, we may talk about forgiveness, peace in our heart. There's so much out there that we can do to help other people out there that are suffering. My show airs Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Because it's syndicated, it may pick up a different day and a different time in another country or another time zone. You know what? It's been a year since Hurricane Helene in Asheville, North Carolina. It was the 27th of September. My guest and I she doesn't know this about me, She dealt with 2 hurricanes at that time, and so did I. I believe she has a mother. Chandra Russell's my guest today, has a mother in Florida. I also had a mother in Florida. I was in Florida when Hurricane Helene hit. So Chandra, hello and welcome today. How are you today?
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Don.
Let's just dive in.
Sure.
You know, people love stories. Okay. Hurricane Helene happened, and you had an unexpected twist of turns. You wanted to, have a break from all the trauma. I remember Hurricane Milton very well. We were without power in North Florida, without five days of power. That's pretty typical, normal in Florida.
Right.
It's not fun. And then we came back to no water, no electricity, all kinds of problems, flooding, damage. And he just wanted to have a break. Tell our listeners what happened and then what happened after that.
Yeah, thank you. So this is so significant for me to be on here with you today because it is exactly to the day 1 year from being taken into an involuntary psych hold. And you just laid out perfectly the 2 weeks prior to this year ago. We had no power, no water, damage everywhere, whole towns washed away, people in upheaval, and not knowing if everyone you know is even alive. So collective trauma for sure, 3 days of blackout. So yeah, we had been going through a lot, and then here comes Hurricane Milton, and my mother is right on the beach, so she's a mandatory evacuation, right?
What beach was it?
She's right by Daytona Beach.
Okay, so about an hour away from my mother.
Okay, yeah. We're kindred spirits in some ways. So she, being stubborn, being almost 70 and having 2 dogs, she did not want to leave. But after what we had experienced, I was like, no way, I got to go get her. Everything in my body said, go get her. Go get her. So I'm the only car driving into the belly of the beast. This is the day before Milton's hitting. You can see the clouds circling the ocean, right? And it's just like, I felt like I had to do this. Like, she really didn't want to come. She, all these things, but I felt compelled. So we drive up to Savannah. That's as far as we could get north. I couldn't even get to Asheville. The drive, you have to go in the back roads, no highways, or, it's dead stop traffic, or it's very dangerous, actually. On the way down, I saw 8 accidents. I mean, it was like Mad Max. People were just driving. I mean, cars flipping. It was like cinematic. So, yeah, I evacuate her to Savannah. We get to Savannah. I used to live there for 10 years, so she knows it really well. She loves Savannah. I was like, perfect. I found her 3 days of lodging through my connections, and I'm like, perfect. She can stay here, then she can rent a car home, or her boyfriend can come get her, but at least she's safe. She's good to go. And after that traumatic 2 weeks, then coupled with evacuating her, not sleeping for 30 hours, it was just a hot mess. And I had 400,000 Sky Miles. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just get out of town for a few days. Where do I want to go? Like, how do I want to reset? Because I had been running supply chains while I was here, to help with the recovery right after. So we were running propane to Nesbitt Church over in Fairview. They were feeding hundreds of people 3 meals a day, and propane was number one. That's what they needed.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right? And then we had 3 propane facilities wash out. So propane was like, it was desperate. So raising money for propane, and then my former business neighbor, Palmetto Health, they needed help running oxygen tanks because no electricity, people can't plug in. They need the portable oxygen tanks. Mm-hmm. So running supplies, coordinating volunteers, raising money, all that's going on. And yeah, I decided I need a break. I need a break so I can then come back stronger, help my community, because we can argue about how awesome the disaster relief was or was not. But when you're here and you're experiencing it, it feels very like we're abandoned. It feels very
it
lonely.
Sure did. And so many important things you touched upon. Oxygen. My mom's on oxygen. She's 84 and a half. You know, people have to have water to survive. It was utter chaos.
Oh my gosh. Apocalyptic. I mean, we talked to volunteers that had helped clean up after Katrina and clean up after 9/11. And this is from their mouths. They said our aftermath was like a combination of those two things. And this is ex-military, you know, volunteers, firefighters from their perspective. So that's how bad it was here. So
it was very bad. So what happened? So you got all these Sky Miles and you're like, you're going to take
I was just like, yeah.
Or a week or a month? Or?
No, I was going to do a 3 or 4 day, you know, getaway, long weekend. I've been to 25 countries. I've traveled a ton. Yeah. I used to have this amazing job where I coordinated international travel for college sports teams. So, I mean, I've really been lucky and got to travel a ton. So to me, jumping on a plane is like zen. Gorging on movies, you know, order your champagne, like just having this complete, like amazing, you know, time for just yourself. And I'd always wanted to go to Iceland. I'd always wanted to go float in the Blue Lagoon. And I had friends that had just been like a few years prior. So I was like, you know what? My poor body and my poor brain after all of this and evacuating my mom on top of it, I'm going. I'm just going. I'm going to use these miles. I got free miles, you know, like I'm just going to go. And then I'll come back and I'll be so rested and I'll be so, you know, ready to tackle all the things that still lie ahead in Asheville. And yeah, I go to the airport. I go super early because I only had my passport card. And in my brain, I thought it was sort of equivalent. What's the point of having it, right? Like I knew there was help with like an expedited passport if you needed it. I didn't know all the rules per se, but I was like, you know what? I'm an evacuee. I've got my passport card. I've traveled all over the world. I have my regular ID. I've got a legitimate hotel. Like this won't be a problem. I'll just talk to somebody and it'll be fine. So I go to the counter and try to check in. Like I said, I'm super early because I anticipated there might be some extra hoops to jump through. Mm-hmm. And the counter agent, I try to check in. She doesn't even look at my passport card. She looks at my check-in. She says, no. And I said, wait, what? Can I talk to someone? Like, I understand you, but I'm an evacuee. Like, doesn't that factor in? She just went next. I was not a human. So she just tries to start helping the next person. So I'm like, okay. So I turned to the security guard. It happened to be a female. And I turned to her and I said, hey, is there anybody I can talk to about this? Like my flight's not for like 7 hours. I'm really early. You know, is there a way to make this happen? She starts backing away with her hands up. And she says, I don't want anything to do with that. So my body starts ding, ding, ding. You know, there's some emergency signals going on. Mm-hmm. And as she's backing away and I'm watching her back away, there are 8 cops circling. Already, nothing's happened. I haven't raised my voice. I haven't been disruptive. And I went into fight or flight. I got really loud. I got really vocal. I started saying, I have a legitimate flight. I am an evacuee. Like, you know, there's a TikTok video with 13 million freaking views on it, making me look like a totally crazy person. And yeah, it was, I was kind of running away from them. They ended up tackling me. My whole body was bruised up and down. And that led to being taken to the local ER there and being involuntary committed.
Mm. Wow. And so we've talked prior to this interview, this chat about, you know, being involuntarily taken into mental health. I know in Florida, which, you know, I grew up in Florida until I went in the Air Force at 20. They call it the Baker Act in Florida, where they involuntarily can commit you for 72 hours and then evaluate you. So do you know how many states, Chandra, that can do that? Do you have any idea how many states can do that?
Everyone. All the states can legally, from my research, and I could misspeak, but from my research, any state can take you in the United States on an involuntary 72-hour psych hold, and only 24 states have to report this. So the numbers are completely skewed. We don't know how many people, we don't know everything, but the best estimates we can see is over 1 million people per year are taking into involuntary psych holds in America, and 600,000 of those are women. So when they look at, and most of the time when you get out, you don't know your rights. You don't know what you can do. There's shame, there's guilt. You have to get your life back in order because you can't talk to anybody. You're ripped out of your life. So it's very traumatic. No matter what happened to lead up to it, what happens inside and what happens after is really, really traumatic. But yeah, the estimates are that only 15% of that 600,000 are actually qualified to go, like, fit the criteria to be submitted to that. So that's pretty disturbing, right? That's a really disturbing number.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
And what was it like? Would you be comfortable sharing with the listeners? What was it like? How many days were you there? How were you treated?
It was the most horrible experience of my life in so many ways. And, you know, the initial, of course, tackling and that violence is just, you know, that's a whole different ball game. But once you're inside, at least this is my experience. They call it the D block, and it's this tiny room, kind of an L shape that has 7 different rooms for 7 different inmates, I guess you could say, patients. And it's just completely dehumanizing. They put you in paper thin clothes. There's a shared toilet with co-ed. There's no shower. You know, it's a nightmare. And nobody talks to you. That's the hardest thing. I saw a doctor for 5 seconds and he didn't even make eye contact with me. And that was my experience, like coming in, talking to a doctor for about 5 seconds, cops everywhere. And my saving grace was one of the med techs, one of the nurses, went to the high school that I used to teach at in Savannah. So we had that instant connection because I was kind of pleading my case. I'm like, I used to live here. I was a high school English teacher. Call, the athletic director, call the principal. Like, I'm a real person, because they really try to make you feel like a complete criminal. And they don't ask you what happened. They don't ask you your story. It's just a decision made, and that's the path. So I was in the D block for about 36 hours. It was almost 2 full days and nights. And then I got transferred to, I would call a little bit slightly better situation. And I was put on a woman-only ward. So that was a comfort in some ways. But yeah, again, nobody tells you anything. No, you don't know. I didn't even know about 72-hour holds. So they don't tell you how long you're going to be there. They don't tell you if you're a criminal, like if you have charges against you. They don't give you any sense of what's happening. And they don't say you need to talk to your lawyer. There's no Miranda rights. There's nothing. You're just taken. So it ended up being, I saw the child psychologist the next day, so like day 3, and he said, "What in the world are you doing here? Why are you here?" I said, "You tell me." And he actually made a point to say to me, "They wrote down that you have a tattoo as one of the reasons that you're in here." He said, "I've never seen this in 30 years. So then the next day, day 4, another one of the kindest souls, because most of the people that I encountered hated their lives and their jobs, and it's pretty bleak. But this woman had life in her. She was young. She was still vibrant. And she evaluated me, the first person, day 4, that finally took over an hour to talk to me, to hear my story, hear my side. And it was like 70 hours in or so, and she said, "Oh, you're downgraded to voluntary." No question. So I'm like, sweet, I'm going home tomorrow, right? Well, they really, how can I say this delicately? They very much make you feel that if you leave before you're officially released, which you'd think that would be official, right? Downgraded to voluntary versus involuntary. But instead, they are like, well, you need to see this other doctor. Well, you need to do this. So that way it can be a clean discharge. So they really kind of convince you that you got to stay until they say. So I ended up being there a whole week, 156 hours. So double the time I was supposed to be. So why? I don't know. Why did they not let me see the doctor the next day? I couldn't see him for 3 more days. Like, there was just so many hoops to jump through. And you don't know, like, what's on your record now? What happens to you later if something, you just don't know your rights, and you don't know what the result and the impact. And, it was terrifying for me to be like, who saw
that? That must have been horribly terrifying. I thought have you done any research, Chandra? You're a researcher. To find out, were you supposed to have been given rights? There has to be some kind of rights that you're entitled to.
Right. And that's actually part of the work that I'm doing now to not only help prevent this from happening by having an emergency network that we are actively working to build an app, but also to know after, your rights, what was violated. I mean, do we have a case? Do the 600,000 of us have a case together? I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that this can't continue because it's modern witch hunts and it's an erasure of women. And we know that they've always said we're hysterical and we're crazy and we're this. And this is such a easy pigeonhole way, to do this without following real procedure and real safety for like an American citizen. This is a circumvent. It's not jail, right? But you're held against your will, and so it's such a murky. That's what I'm finding. It's so murky. It's so gray. There's not been a ton of activism around it yet because there's a lot of shame. I mean, it's hard to admit this happened.
You don't hear about it, Chandra. You don't hear about it much. And unfortunately, mental health has stigma, as we both know. And gosh, and if you're a man, it's, just from the conditioning and the culture over men, just not now in the United States, but worldwide. For them to talk about it's even harder sometimes. Well, you've done some good things out of your experience, and I hate that you had to go through that. And mental health ward is supposed to be there to help you, not to hurt you, and the staff there. And I hope that you were able to find some silver lining in all of this. And I think you did find it. But one thing I do know that you're doing is helping other people now. Tell us about your book. You got a book. What is it called? It's coming out. Where can we find it?
Thank you. Yes, I am almost done. Super, super close. It's called They've Always Called Us Crazy, a movement memoir about storms, silence, and the system that tries to erase us. So it's really focused on the last year of my life with all the upheaval with Helene. I lost 2 businesses. I went through this. My landlord kicked me out of my office space. I actually ended up losing my license for 30 days because of on the way down to evacuate my mom, I was speeding, of course. And I looked at the cop. I'm like, I'm the only civilian driving into the belly of the beast. You're going to give me a ticket? So, and then I didn't pay it because all the chaos that was going on. So it's been a very dramatic year. And so the book focuses on that mostly, but of course, stories from my past come up to show how in the world the resilience is there to survive what I've survived this year. So really, and the reason I call it a movement memoir is because this movement to build a post-patriarchal world by 9/9/2034, 9 years. Okay, so that's like the big giant mission here. So the book is tied to that, And I'm actually calling it the lore book to shape this universe that we're building, that women don't have to be walking in fear, not only from involuntary psych holds, but think about the 500,000 women that are raped every year. And you start combining these stats: 600,000 involuntary psych, 500,000 rape, which we know that number is underreported too. We're talking 1 million minimum women per year severely silenced and almost erased when you think about their life and the trajectory of their future for both of these instances. And then just the microaggressions we deal with on a daily basis. So there's a lot of silencing of women going on. There's a lot of violence still, and we got to make some big changes. It's not okay.
So you don't hit me as somebody who's passive and is going to let life walk all over them. You've got your book, you got your mission. What's next, Chandra?
Absolutely. So the Erasure Justice app is absolutely my biggest focus right now, because I don't want anyone to experience what I've experienced. And there are studies that it doesn't even work. It doesn't even do what it's supposed to do anyway. So let's look at this mental health trajectory and this process. It's not okay. And I told you I used to teach high school English, and I used to teach One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And that was in the 70s, okay? This is 2025. We cannot, how have we not evolved in 50 plus years our mental health procedures? This is a very important, crucial element of our time that we cannot continue to approach it this way. So major changes need to happen. I'm going to be vocal. I'm connecting with other women doing work like this. And really, it's even the thing I like to talk about that's even the bigger mission is rematriation. And that's a word that not everybody's heard, but it's rematriating everything. And that is not about men and women. Everybody wants to jump immediately to gender, but it's about the feminine perspective of being regenerative, not extractive. No more billionaires. Whoa, that's a novel idea, right?
I don't know if we can do that one.
We can do it. I promise we can do it.
Possible, right?
Anything. Everything's on the table.
So I have a question for you, Chandra. Many people would want to hide their experience if they had one like yours, because the stigma, the shame that they might feel, that they shouldn't have to feel, but all these normal feelings that come up. Why do you feel it's so important to be resilient to help other people with what you've been through?
Well, I think what stands out to me is, if it can happen to me, I'm a 44-year-old white lady from a village in Ohio. I have my master's degree. I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years. Like, I'm not on paper a person that this would happen to per se, right? And for it to happen to me, and the violence I experienced, and the mistreatment, and the lack of care, and the way it kind of blows up your life. I mean, that's the thing, the aftermath. And my heart feels for these 600,000 women every year that went through what I went through, because your friends look at you differently.
Yes, they do.
Your business associates look at you differently. The world looks at you differently, especially me with my 13 million freaking TikTok views, right? TMZ ran a piece saying, look at this crazy lady. Daily Mail wrote a piece. And not one of these outlets had the, care to actually try to find out who this woman was and find out her story.
And you wanted the sensationalism and the popularity of it to take off.
Yep. So it's been a year and nobody's really associated me with it. So you're really my coming out story of like, hey, that was me. I'm not going to be shy about it anymore. I'm not going to feel the shame, because circumstances happened somewhat out of my control. Yes, my behavior is mine and I have to account for that. But it's like we do so many things in this country. We shove it under the rug. And it's way better to put it out there and be honest, be vulnerable. And I want to help heal these women. I want to give them hope. I want them to feel like they have a community. You know, the other day I was listening to a podcast where a woman's husband sent her on an involuntary psych hold, because that's the other piece that's terrifying. And I don't even like saying it out loud because I don't want to give anybody ideas, but anybody can call you and say, hey, my neighbor needs to be put on involuntary psych hold. Your husband, your parents, your siblings, like, it is a weapon. It can be weaponized against you. And that is terrifying. And I don't think it's right.
Yeah, that is terrifying because they should have evidence. Yeah, goodness gracious. How did all this build your resiliency muscle, Chandra?
Ooh, yeah, I knew I was resilient, and I played college volleyball on a scholarship. So 3-a-days, you know, throwing myself on the floor, being a lifelong athlete, you know, there's so many lessons I learned, and so grateful for being an athlete, quite frankly, because that helped me survive all this. And it, you know, even Helene itself, you know, helping a friend move out of their second floor art studio because the mud was 50 feet up, right? And so you learn quickly in the apocalypse that you've got to be strong physically and mentally. So yeah, it's stretched me in every single way. And, you know, being here today is a huge milestone for me to really speak about it fully for the first time and take that pain and take that experience and build good out of it and help people with it and just, you know, be a mountain. I've got my little mountain earrings on, and I can be a mountain for others. I have the strength and resilience to be a voice in this fight.
That's great, and we need more of that. Chandra, I'd like to thank you very much because first, you were authentic, and I really appreciate that. Our listeners love that. And also, you were very transparent, and when you're transparent, as you know, it gives other people permission, encourages them, and listens them up to say, oh my God, this girl's talking about this horrible experience in the airport and what she went through, you know, and she's not ashamed of it. She's telling people, and she got through it, and now she's out there helping other people with a very worthy cause. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show. Do you have any parting words, and how can we get a hold of you? We're down to the last minute.
All right. riseofwampus.org is the website, and this is a movement. This is not just a website or a business. And you can share your erase your story if you've gone through this anonymously or publicly if you'd like. And we're just collecting stories and data, and we've actually built an entire universe called Wampusverse, where we're building the post-patriarchal world by 999. So that's our big mission. You can check us out there, and we're on all the socials as well under Rise of Wampus.
How do you spell Wampus?
Wampus. And it's based off of the Wampus cat myth. Have you heard this?
Well, we're down to the last 30 seconds,
okay.
So we'll have to
be continued.
To be continued. Okay. Well, thank you again, Chandra. What an important message. And nobody should be discriminated. Nobody should have to deal with biases. We deal with it every day. So thank you for taking the courage, having the courage and the resiliency muscles to move forward to help empower women. And by empowering women, you're really empowering the whole world. Until next time, we'll see you. Everyone stay empowered. Remember, every day you have the choice to be empowered or disempowered. I hope you choose to be empowered. If there's anything I can do for you with resiliency, reach out. If I can help you, I will. If I can't, I'll help someone else. Take care and be well.
Recording stopped.
All right.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that felt so good.
Good.
Oh
good.
my God.
The light on my side looks weird. How the light is, I'm gonna have to move my.
Oh, I think you look great. Like you look glowy, honestly. I love it.
Yeah, it looks kind of garish, whatever. Well, listen, I gotta run because I have 2 appointments before 12 already, and I gotta run. I'll air this tomorrow at 10. If you're on LinkedIn or Facebook and you want to connect, feel free. If you don't want to connect, that's okay too. It's just for marketing.
I think I already linked in you yesterday.
Yeah. I get a lot there. So, all right.
That was okay?
Today. You did great.
Okay. Okay.
You ought to be on Todd Weatherly's, is it Mental Health Matters? He's one of the radio talk hosts.
Okay. I mean, connect me with anyone you can think of. I'm ready to really put this out there.
He's all about mental health. He's not a clinician. I guess he's like a resources person for mental health stuff. He travels all around the nation. He's a pretty neat guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll have to do an introduction to you when I get a minute.
Please do. Thank you.
Be in touch.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. We still rocking on the Twitch here? Looks like it. Let me see. You guys still with us over there? Okay. Whoo! All right. You guys are hearing the story for the first time fully, and I'm going to take a little break after that, but I wanted to share the behind the scenes of the first interview I've had related to my involuntary psych hold and my book. So thank you for watching, and I will chop this up into some clips too, and I will be back later today. We're going to be here all day talking about the anniversary of my involuntary psych hold. So I will be back soon. Gonna take a little breather after that, and Picklesaurus will absolutely have some words today. She'll be pitching in today. So I'm gonna get the studio set back up for an awesome day. Picklesaurus says, 1 year ago, she was tackled and erased. Today, she's scrollcasting a movement to end the erasure of women by 9/9/2034. This isn't just healing, it's blueprinting the future.